It was one of those games that many people said Roy Hodgson had to win, because it was one of those games where, if we hadn't won the game, it would have meant an even longer amount of time that we hadn't managed to get 3 points, and it would have been going into the new year with such a bad run of form. And to be honest, I mean, if you saw my previous video, you'll know that I really did hope that we were going to win the game. I really did hope that we would, and there were a lot of people that I asked on my various social media accounts that I have, which you can follow along to, Palace of the Core, Twitter and Instagram and things like that, and also I post on the community on YouTube as well. And a lot of them were saying, hopefully we'll win, but we're not going to win, or it's going to be a draw or something like that. And I felt the same way. I wanted us to win, didn't know that we necessarily would. Obviously the side was virtually the same again. There was no real difference, no real changes in there, and it was one of those games that I just felt, if we don't beat Brentford, and I'm not saying that Brentford are a terrible team, but they're not doing very well at the moment, and if we don't beat Brentford, then it really does look bad for us, I think. That was my personal point of view. Now I'm going to be talking about the game, so you haven't seen it, go and see it, come back and listen to what I've got to say about it. So it was one of those games that I really felt we had to win, and a lot of Palace fans said very much the same thing. So when the game started, I actually felt that normally we start games quite well. We're quite front-footed, we're quite attacking. We start games quite well usually, and we started this game quite well as well. We were trying to get involved, but then literally 2 minutes into the game, Brentford scored, and it was a fairly good goal. I mean, it was one of those that was it was crossed in, and he stuck his foot out, and Henderson wasn't able to close it down, and they got the goal. And at that point, I'm thinking to myself, okay, so this could be very bad for us. This could be a very bad day. But to their credit, the team kept going. They didn't capitulate. They obviously, it was very early in the game. They kept on going, worked really hard to try and get possession, and started to make things happen. And very quickly, in fact, on 14 minutes, Michael Olise managed to get the equaliser, and it was a very good goal. It was a very good goal. It was one of those. It was I don't know how far off the ground he was, left foot across the keeper into the back of the net, and it was one of those. It was the same type of position to where he scored the goal previously. Where he chested it and volleyed it into the goal. And I'm thinking there was a couple of times, especially Jordan Ayew, when he got into that certain position, he would look for Olise at the back post and put the ball in. A couple of times he almost caught Olise again, almost got to him again. So I think this is something they've been working on. I don't know whether it's been a management thing or whether players have been working to this between them, and I thought this is a good idea. But it's happened a couple of times now, and I think it's something that they actually are looking at. So, but it's working well, and it's produced 2 good goals so far. So, it's great while it works. And so that was great. It was 1-1, and I thought, okay. And we were starting to get more possession of the ball when we were starting to play well and knock the ball around. And there was some excellent play by Mateta, who I'm going to talk about in a minute, and Ayew, of course, as well, and Olise, who all had outstanding games. So it was one of those games after that I think we had quite a good hold on the game. Yes, Brentford were coming at us at times and trying to make things happen, and actually did make a couple of times they made Henderson work and things like that. So it wasn't all one-sided. We didn't dominate the game, but we were, I think, mostly in control of it for the most of the game. And certainly for the first half, I felt that we had a lot of control over the game, and that we were working hard, and so yeah, that was good to see. It was good to see that we were doing that. And then on 39 minutes, towards the end of the first half, Eze got a really good goal as well, and he took that goal really well too. And I think Eze is improving. I think he's getting fitter. Had a much better game today than he had in the last game. Did a lot more on the ball, was showed up a lot more and was working a lot harder. So I think obviously he's getting fitter. He's still a little way off, I think, but he's certainly in the right frame of it. So that's good to see as well. So at that point we were 2-1 up, and I thought, okay, this is going well, but we're doing okay. And that really was the first half seen out, which was really good to go in 2-1 up. Brentford, of course, did, as I say, did have their chances, and there were times when they did actually try and pen us back in our own half, and it happened only a couple of times. But it was just a reminder that any other time of the season, or any other season, we probably would have been bombarding Brentford with shots and goals and crosses and things like that. It wasn't quite like that, and I think that shows just how how confidence is not quite there. That we've had these disappointing results, and so while we were playing well, things weren't quite flowing as well as you would do with a team that's full of confidence, we would say. But anyway, second half came in, and again, pretty much the same. It was a very good game. We had the ball quite a lot more, and we were working it around really well. There were some fantastic little layoffs by Mateta. You could see that Henderson in particular was aiming his long balls at Mateta. Mateta was keeping hold of it. Fantastic hold up play. Really did great hold up play today, Mateta. And he would hold it up, and nice little layoffs as well. And so he was actually playing really well, and made lovely little touches here and there. Really did have a good game today. Jordan Ayew was another player who was working well down the left hand side. He was trying to get involved and trying to work hard at keeping hold of the ball, especially when it went down the channels. He was doing his best to keep hold of it and then bring other players in. So second half, I think we worked really well. I thought that we did a great job of trying to keep them at bay. Didn't always work, and as I said, Henderson had a couple of things to do in both halves, and certainly in the second half towards the end, it was all hands to the pumps. But Elise managed to get the third goal, and that was on 58 minutes. 58 minutes. He managed to get the third goal. Another great goal. The ball was played into him, and he did his little tricks around the box, and then managed to tuck it past the keeper on his right hand side. So and just before that, he had a shot with his right foot, which is unusual, but that made the keeper work. So it was certainly a good game for Elise. He had a number of good opportunities there, and of course Eze also had another opportunity to score a goal. If he had hit it anywhere else other than straight down the keeper's throat, I think it would have been a goal, but it's one of those things. So overall, I was really pleased with the game. I thought we played really well. We had loads of corners in the game, which is some part of me wishes we mix it up a little bit with the corners, because we haven't really been very successful with corners this season, and I would like to see us mix it up a little bit. There was a period of time when they would play the ball out to Eze, and then Eze would try and do something, because Eze would linger around the outside of the box. That actually worked out a couple of times much better than just pumming it into the box. So I'd like to see him do maybe a few more short corners, or just mixing it up a little bit, trying to make us less predictable, because we usually just hoof it into the 6-yard box. But anyway, that's just a little thing. But as I say, I don't think any player had a bad game, which was great to see. The defence was working well. The last 10 minutes of the game was a bit of a fury, because we were trying to maintain the lead. Rayhausen, no, he did play for us, but he's not. Sadly, he's not here with us. But yeah, Ray Lewington, that's who I was looking for. Ray Lewington, he was shouting from the sidelines, push up, don't sit back, push up, and even Roy said in his press conference that there was some point where he felt that they were sitting back a lot more than they should have done, given the scoreline. But of course it's going to happen, because the team are understandably a little bit worried about giving away another lead, or losing another game, or drawing another game from winning positions. So obviously they were getting a little bit worried about that, and they were starting to sit back, and we were inviting pressure the last 5-10 minutes, and that's when Brentford had their two best chances. One which cannoned off the crossbar, and one which produced a really good clawing save from Henderson. So it wasn't all our game. That Brentford did make chances and did make Henderson work. So but it's a win. It's 3 points, and I'm really pleased with that. And hopefully now this will give us the confidence to go into the next games with a bit more relaxation, and and knowing that we can do the best that we can. Now there was a bit of a worry about Elise. till at the end of the game. But Hodgson said that he spoke to the doctor. The doctor didn't say he needed a scan. Didn't say he was worried about it. So it might have just been a bit of cramp. I mean, you know, he has played really hard, and he was chasing balls down right until the very last minute, and running back. So he put in a real shift in that game, and so he is understandably man of the match, which is absolutely what I would say as well. I did ask about who was the man of the matches on my social media, and again, Elise was the one that outshone most people. Mateta got a mention in dispatches, which was fantastic because I think he deserved it. And you know, we sometimes have a dig at Mateta, and there are people who say that he only plays well around transfer times, but I think part of this is because he's getting a run of games in the squad. You know, he's had a run of games. He's probably getting fitter. He's obviously getting fitter. He's playing more and more games now, and that's going to help him, isn't it? He's probably getting a bit more confidence now. He's getting a run of games, and that's all going to help in a positive way. So this could just be a culmination of the fact that he's had a run of games and he's got a bit of, you know, got a bit of confidence and a bit more fitness behind him. He's certainly had a very good game, and I think that if he continues to play like that, then you know it's going to be a lot easier for us in terms of trying to keep the ball, shall we say. Now, of course, he's not the fastest player in the world, and he's not necessarily going to be scoring loads of goals, but just his hold-up play and these little layoffs is going to make a huge difference for us. So that was great. Hughes and França came on late on, as well as Schlupp. França didn't really have enough time to do anything, and neither did Schlupp, to be fair. Hughes came on, and you know, for me, he gives away too many fouls. I mean, even in the short period of time that he was on, he gave away a couple of fouls at least, I think, from my memory. So you know, he's a good player in terms of, you know, he's an in-your-face player. He's a very physical player. He likes to get in the tackles and stuff like that, but very often it leads to a foul. So I think that obviously we had to make substitutions by that point. I understand that, but I don't think Hughes is one of those players that is necessarily going to be a first team member permanently or long term, which, you know, I think we've got some great players in there. Richards played fantastic in the middle again. I know that there are some people, including myself actually, who think that David Ozo should be given a stint in the middle there. Move Richards to the back and put Ozo in there, give him a couple of games and see how he does. Nathaniel Klein, now nothing against Joel Ward, he's been a fantastic servant for the club, but Nathaniel Klein just seems to me a lot better in that position. He seems a lot more assured, a lot more secure, and you know, it just feels a lot safer when he's in that position rather than Joel Ward. You know, Joel Ward's getting old, so is Nathaniel Klein, but I think of the two at the moment, I think Nathaniel Klein is just edging out Joel Ward. But let me know what you think about that in the comment section. In fact, let me know about what you think about the game, and about Elise and all the other players, and how you think we're going to go on from here in general. Because it is a win, and we need to celebrate that, and hopefully there'll be many more in the new year. I want to take this opportunity before I go to say thank you to everybody who's watched the channel over the last year. It's you know, it means a huge amount to me that we have players, we have viewers on here who watch regularly and comment regularly, because it's great. It makes the channel you know, so much better having this regular conversation in the comments and things like that. So thank you very much for your continued support throughout the year. If you've been watching and you haven't subscribed yet, please do, because that does help the channel enormously. If you've just joined the channel, thank you for coming along, and hopefully I can provide you more content in the new year. So thank you very much from me, and I'll see you next time.